it is 7:04, so we will go ahead and call this meeting to order. I want to welcome everyone to the JPNA Quarterly Neighborhood Meeting, our February edition. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. And I just want to do a quick introduction for all of our wonderful board members, because I truly could not do this without them. So if we could go down, I will start with Jennifer, if you'll just do a quick introduction. She is our vice president. I don't know, maybe she can.
Hello, thank you, Barbara. No, I heard you. My name is Jennifer Berry, and I live at the corner of Jefferson and Bayard, and I am Ogden and Olin's mom. Most of you know me as the mother of the terrorist Shih Tzus that bark at everybody at the gate. Anyway, I've been living here for a little over, or about 2 years now, and Barbara asked me to join as vice president to assist with the homeowners association. I'm glad to serve everybody, so thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And then we will go to Miss Gabrielle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gabrielle. I'm the treasurer, and I've lived in JP for going on 3.5 years, and I've lived in East Point for 6 years. So I'm just really happy to be here, and I'm excited to serve on the board and be a part of this really awesome group.
Thank you. And Miss Carrie, our secretary.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carrie Ziegler. I'm the secretary, and I have lived in Jefferson Park for 4 years now. I really like being here, and it's been really fun being a part of this team.
Thank you. And Miss Deidre.
Hey everybody, I'm Deidre, and I don't know, let's see, how long have I been here? I've actually only been here since the beginning of 2018, but I have fallen in love with this neighborhood and the people in it. And from working at the community center, started to get to know more people, and decided to attempt at being more involved. So I really enjoy working with this group, and I basically do everything tech and social media and anything creative that is of need. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. We couldn't do this without you, so we do appreciate your expertise. And then we have Vincent.
Hi, Vincent Holt. I've been in Jefferson Park since fall of 2016. Got on the board a couple years ago, and I live up closer to the school on Jefferson Avenue. And I look forward to seeing y'all whenever we can return to having our events and whatnot. I love a good neighbor jam.
Right on.
Thank you, Vincent. All right, and Miss Laura.
Hey everybody, I'm Laura Reed. My husband and I live on East Forest Avenue, and we've been in the neighborhood since the fall of 2018. So almost, I guess we're coming up on 3 years now. And like everybody said, this is a great group, and it's been a lot of fun to get to know some folks in the neighborhood.
Thank you. And Rory. Well, we have Rory.
Rory.
I know, Rory was here a minute ago.
Rory's here.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
It was
now we
blocking
can.
me
There we
for a
go.
minute. Hi, everybody. I'm Rory Moon. My husband and I live over on East Woodland, and I am new to the board, member at large, and thrilled to be here and love Jefferson Park. So,
Thank you. And then last but not least, I know Joshua is here.
Good evening, Jefferson Park neighbors. My name is Joshua McCoy, and I am on the corner of, well, not quite the corner, but close enough to the corner of Jefferson and Sylvan. And my family and I have been here for going on 3 years now. So we feel like we're no longer new bloods there. I wanted to say that I enjoy Jefferson Park. The pandemic kind of slowed down us meeting folks a little bit, but everybody that we met so far has been pretty cool. I also want to say that as one of the newest members on the board, that the board members that I've joined have done amazing work, and I'm happy to continue to contribute to a continuation of such great things. So I wanted to, as I cross over into the land of board memberdom, I wanted to say thank you all for carrying on and helping make this such a great place. And so thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. So yeah, warm welcome to our newest members of the board, and a gracious thank you to all of you guys for everything that you do. I truly couldn't do it without you. We are missing two members.
I think we have one more,
We have
right?
one more.
Tara Ingram?
Oh yeah, we're missing two. So Tara is
Okay.
I'm
not.
actually here.
Oh,
Sorry.
you made it.
too.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say happy anniversary to you, and that you were off doing other things. So go ahead, Tara. I'm sorry.
I have to do some work tonight, so it kind of crushed the mood. So I just thought I'd join.
Oh, we're glad you're here.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Excited to be part of this team. Have been here in Jefferson Park for about 2.5 years, and new member to the board. So happy to get involved. I do miss seeing a lot of you at the neighborhood meetings, and I'm hoping that once everybody gets vaccinated, we can start at least doing maybe the block party. So, we're thanks everyone for a great meeting tonight in advance, and I look forward to some lively discussion.
Thank you, Tara. I'm glad you're here. And then, as long as I'm not mistaken, I think Chrissy Hudson is not with us this evening. Today is her birthday. So she is our hospitality chair. So I just want to thank her. And then I think we have
one more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Dominique here. So she is here.
Yes. So I joined the neighborhood board in 2019. So my husband and I, we moved into the neighborhood in 2019, and I was just looking for a way to sort of meet people. So I decided to join the board. So I'm on the hospitality committee, basically in charge of delivering the welcome baskets and welcoming the new neighbors to the neighborhood. And I've definitely enjoyed my time here in Jefferson Park so far, and I look forward to many more years here.
Thank you. And we appreciate you so much for all the hard work that you and Chrissy do for the Hospitality Welcoming Committee. So, and did I miss anybody? Am I good? Okay. Well, I do see, I was just scrolling across to make sure I didn't miss anybody, and I do see Captain Glover is on the line. So in lieu of his time, I don't want to take over, I know he's busy doing other things. So if he is available, I'll go ahead and let him jump in on the agenda and give us an update from the East Point Police Department.
Hey, everybody. I guess you can hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, the chief is retiring. I think he's made the official announcement. I think June or July will be his last days with the city. I think he's been with us 30-something years, which is pretty amazing. We're working on the school zone cameras right now. All of the school zone cameras, they actually have a speed detection. So all of the school zones would get these speed detection devices. And I think it's a grant that Major McCullough and Chief Popham are working on. And they will also have license plate reader cameras on every one of those cameras in the school zone, which will add 18 to 20 license plate reader cameras to the city, which I've been trying to get us more. We've got 18 now. College Park has 20. Hateville has 22. Atlanta's getting on board with them as well with the flock cameras. So we've been able to solve, and I guess that's what I just like to talk to y'all about, is that we've been able to solve so many crimes here in just the last few months that we've gotten the flock cameras. I'm so excited with them. That truck that keeps going into y'all's neighborhood, I've got a few thousand more pictures of tags to look at, but I do have a distinguishing mark on that truck that I'm trying to locate on the flock cameras. But once I find that truck, I'm going to find that owner, and I'm going to do everything I can to either put him in jail or put some citations on him. That's just dangerous what he does. But the flock cameras, the license plate reader cameras, whatever company you use, that's totally up to the department or the community. But they're just amazing. They're helping us solve crimes on a daily basis, getting stolen cars before they're wrecked, before the police have to try to chase them. So that's the big thing that I wanted y'all to know, that we've got license plate readers on Sylvan. They're on Cleveland Avenue. They're on Sylvan up near Hateville. We've got them at Virginia Avenue. And we're working hard to get, if I can get 100 more, I'm going to get them. Because that way, when a crime happens based on the description, we can find that tag. And if it's not a stolen vehicle, we can identify the owners pretty quick. But I think that's all I have. If you'll have any questions, of course, I'll be glad to answer any of them.
Thank you, Captain Glover. We always appreciate you attending these meetings and everything that you do for the neighborhood.
Well, make sure everybody knows that I'm on Facebook, and I'll get on the group from time to time. And you can personal message me anytime, day or night, and I'll handle whatever problem that you need the best I can.
All right, I think we do have one question for you, Captain Glover. Is there any updates on the home invasions?
The robbery that you're speaking, well, the robbery of the lady that was pregnant, the issue there is the vehicle ended up being a stolen vehicle. And all we have is a heavy set male and I think a thin male. And then the day after that, a similar vehicle was stopped by Hateville, and I was talking to Officer Walsh over there, and the descriptions of the suspects didn't match up. So that one we're still looking for some leads. The home invasion that happened soon, right around the same time. All we have is a person that supposedly came in the front door. Some neighbors had video of the front area that only covered motion. We didn't see anybody go to the front door, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen, because, you know, if the motion's far away from the camera, you won't necessarily pick up a recording. But Detective Allen's been very, very vigilant on that case. What I asked her to do is locate some of our frequent flyers that we call them from the area that match the description, that maybe she could put into a lineup that the victim can look at. So she's working on that. Actually, I did see the lineup yesterday, so I'm not sure if she showed it yet. But there's a couple other things that we're looking at, cell phone towers and things like that. But it's still ongoing, and both cases are still ongoing.
Okay, thank you.
All righty, thank you.
All right, well, we will reach out to you if we have any other questions. Oh, I do have one quick question. I'm sorry. How are we doing on staffing for the police department?
I would say that that's probably a question for the chief or the deputy chief. I'm not privy to all of the stats and the numbers and everything. I'm trying to think of the last seniority list that I saw. I think we've got 114 or 124 slots, something like that. But I did see 3 new hires walk around the station today. So I'm not sure. If you shoot me an email, I'll shoot it to the chief, and
Okay.
or the actually Miss Carr could probably get me that number for you as well. I don't want to say a number and not be right.
Right. All right. Well, we appreciate you again, and let us know how we can support you, and we appreciate your support also.
Great. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
All right. So next on the event, if everybody will, if Deidre, you got my message, just to let me know when Councilmember Callaway jumps on, so that I don't just keep rambling while he's on, because I will definitely stop to respect his time. So I just have a few updates before I turn it over to some report outs from our committee members. And I do want to welcome all of the new neighbors before we get really started into details. I'm trying to watch stuff on live, and I'm trying to read the comments. So if I miss something, I apologize. Somebody jump in and keep me on track. But I do want to welcome all the new neighbors. I know this is a different forum that we're used to. Typically, we would be in person and we would have you stand up and state your name and how long you've been here and what your address is. But if you are new and you haven't gotten a welcome basket, or if you would like to be on our email blast, which is what we're calling our electronic JPNA newsletter, then please shoot me an email and I will sign you up for that and I will get you on the welcome list. So my email is jpnapresident@gmail.com. I'll type it into the text. So reach out to me if you have any questions, concerns, or if you want anything, I'll get you in the right direction if I don't have the answer. And then the next announcement I have is that we have ordered new Jefferson Park flags. So we got those coming. I know a lot of people were interested in getting a new yard flag. One of the issues that we had with our older yard flags were they were too big for the typical yard sign holders, the little yard flag holders. So we did get the measurements shortened a little bit, so they will fit on the little yard flag stands now. So hopefully those will come in very soon and we will let you know. And those of you that are interested, we'll make sure that you get one. They will be on sale for $25, correct, Gabrielle? Okay, $25. And I'll let you guys know when those come in. And then we do have a few upcoming events. We have our April yard sale event.
Oops, Barbara froze.
Uh-oh. Well, she's still going on the live.
Yeah, I can't hear her though.
She's 27 degrees, so she froze.
Oh, there she is. She's back.
There you are. You're back.
Okay, where did I end?
Froze.
You were about to talk about the upcoming events.
Okay, good. So the upcoming events, the most recent one we have coming is the yard sale, which we will have in April. And we will make sure that it coincides with the bulk amnesty week. So I'm thinking it will be April 17th, but I'll double check and make sure of that, and we'll be sending out some more information. We're also looking to have a mixer, which will be via Zoom, this platform, for February in celebration of Black History Month. I want to have a special speaker come and everybody can log on and we'll just watch that for February. Of course, we're looking for a March mixer. It looks like it's probably going to be a game type of scenario. So look forward to more information on that. And then our next neighborhood meeting is scheduled for May 18th. So mark your calendars. It will probably be via Zoom again. But we'll be sending out more information on that. So does anybody have any questions before I turn it over to committee reports from the board? Everybody good? Did I freeze? Okay.
We still see you.
It is 20 degrees out here. I'm surprised that my internet isn't frozen. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on. I know Councilmember Callaway is supposed to join us tonight, but we usually have our meetings the same nights as he has his budget meetings. So I know he jumps on a little bit later. So if I'll just go ahead and keep moving, but when he comes in, I'll stop everything in lieu of his time. But I do want to turn it over to committee updates, and I will go ahead and pass the baton to Ms. Gabrielle for a treasurer's update.
Okay, so our current balance for our treasurer's update for our checking account is $5,211.74. And then our savings account, which is where we're keeping our Lottie Maynard funds, is a total of $91.25. And obviously we'll add to that throughout the year. But that's what we've got going on right now.
Okay, and I just want to.
Hey, Gabrielle, I'm sorry, Barbara, I didn't mean to, but Gabrielle, can you also give us an update about the funds in the checking account? Because I know that we had a few members in the community that donated specifically for the welcome baskets.
Yeah, actually, that's gonna, I talked to Dominique already, and she's gonna address that when she brings up whenever she does her report for the welcoming committee.
Okay, perfect.
So we're
Thank
good.
you.
Okay. Yeah, and I thank you, Jennifer and Gabrielle. I do want to make sure that everybody's aware that we are putting out some changes in the budget because of the bylaws. So the bylaws state that we need to put a certain amount of our checking account into the Lottie Maynard Fund. So Gabrielle and I have been working on that. So that $5,000 is not totally what we just have sitting there. 1,000 of it is going to the welcome baskets, which Dominique will address. And then 20% of that will be allocated for the Lottie Maynard Fund. So I think there's really only about 2,000 something that is sendable.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like maybe at the next meeting, we'll be able to give a better breakdown of exactly how we're planning on spending that throughout the year.
Okay.
And that also does not include, so we haven't yet written the check for the flags.
Right.
So the flags is going to come out of this number as well. But otherwise, we are caught up on our funds. So that's the only outstanding payment at this point that we have.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, we'll have a more better breakdown the next meeting, and of course I'll address some of that at the end of the meeting because I'm going to be sending some correspondence out electronically. So, but we'll go ahead and pass it over to Dominique for the welcoming committee, and you can do your announcement.
So I wanted to give a brief overview of what we accomplished last year. So we had quite a few neighbors move in last year, and we were able to deliver approximately 47 baskets in 2020. So that's a great deal of new neighbors coming in. And so far in January, we delivered 2 baskets thus far. And we have 5 baskets that we're going to be delivering this weekend to new neighbors. And I wanted to give just an overview of how the process works, just in case anyone's not aware. So when a new neighbor moves in, they can send an email to the hospitality committee email address, or a neighbor of theirs can send us an email letting us know that the new neighbor moved in. And we typically will put them on a list to have their basket delivered the following month. So we try to have it delivered within a month because it kind of takes us time to put together everything. We're working on making some updates to the website to where you can actually fill out a form if you're a new neighbor. So you can fill out the form, and that form, the information on that form will be sent to the hospitality email, and we'll have all the information that we need. So we'll know where to deliver the basket to. And I wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to our 2 realtors in our neighborhood, Tom Trimble and Joel Tucker Todd. They're basically sponsoring our welcome baskets for the entire year. So they graciously donated a large amount to us so that we can improve our baskets. And we're just really happy about that. So we've been able to plan out our baskets basically for the entire year, our budget. So thank you for that if you guys are on the meeting. So also to add to that, if there are any businesses in the neighborhood that want to have their products featured in the welcome basket, we're more than happy to work with you guys. And you can send us an email as well to the JPNA hospitality email. And that link was just posted. Well, that email address was just posted in the chat if anybody's curious about what that email is. And me and Chrissy, we can reach out to you and sort of discuss, what we can do and negotiate like price points and things of that nature. And we've worked with Anna from the Ghoul Next Door Bake Shop. She graciously donated, well, we actually purchased from her some of her cookies for the Christmas decorating contest. And Matt West of West Design and Fabrication, he actually donated some shelves that he built for the Christmas decorating contest winners as well. So that just gives you an idea of what we're trying to do with the neighborhood. We're just trying to support our local neighborhood businesses. So feel free to reach out to us. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have done a tremendous job, so I do appreciate that.
No problem.
Does any other board member have any comments that they want to add? Okay, I just wanted to give the opportunity in case I forgot something.
I made my comments in a chat to everybody, just that, you know, both Tom Trimble and Joel Tucker Todd were both amazing to quickly jump in. I mean, really, it took a very simple email from Barbara, and both of them, you know, stepped right up and contributed right away to fund our welcome baskets for the year. So, you know, I think that was great, and you know, thank you to both of them for doing that.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, it was very one simple email, and they were both, you know, right on it. So we will have some better looking welcome baskets this year than we were on our tighter budget, so to speak, last year. So thank you. Let's see. So nobody else has anything. I will go ahead, since I don't believe Councilmember Callaway is here. Ms. Carey, I would like you to give an update for the environmental updates.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to share my screen. So I'm with the East Point Environmental Collective, and what we did a couple of years ago was we partnered with Emory Hercules, and we did two things with them. We sampled air that is around us and around our homes with what's called SUMA air canisters. And we also did a health survey as well. So I'm just going to go over very high level results of both of those. So for the air sampling, we did 80 air samples with the help of our neighbors. Thank you to everybody who participated in the study. So we did 80 air samples that were collected around 3 locations. So we looked at PPG, Meredith, and Tri-Cities High School. We thought that those were 3 key points of interest in our neighborhood. And this is what we found down here. So these are the chemicals that were picked up in these air canisters. 6 of these chemicals were found in over 50% of the samples. You can read for yourself what they do. Don't want to like go into too much minutia about this stuff, but you can see that we did pick up a lot of, or I shouldn't say a lot, but we did pick up some chemicals that may be toxic, and you know it looks like that a lot of these sources are paint thinner, paint stripper, paint solvent, or a refrigerant, which is the greenhouse gas. So this is just kind of high level what it was that we picked up throughout the neighborhood. And then we also did a health survey, which asked residents all different kinds of questions about, you know, how do you feel about living in an area where there's potentially pollution, things like that. And we also asked, you know, hey, are you feeling any kind of symptoms, or, you know, when you're smelling these strong odors, how are you feeling? And people have said that that they are experiencing headaches, eye irritation, and sleep problems. And we've had some residents say that they are able to smell paint thinner or some kind of pollutant like that inside their homes, and that they're sitting in their homes with masks on. You know, there are people who are experiencing quite a lot of you know, really bad, I don't even know what to say, but yeah, so if you're interested in working with community members, then what you can do is you can you know, join East Point Environmental Collective if you would like. If you have any other questions about the results or anything like that, you can go to ATSDR, and there's some links down here that you can go to. We're also going to have this flyer on our website as well as this resource document. So this is a resource document that we put together, and this is kind of how in the event that you are experiencing some kind of an odor, that particularly something that is really overpowering, we created this list of things to do so that you know what to do and who to contact when you're smelling these things. So for the first page, we want you to do everything listed here. I know it looks like a lot, but this is a multifaceted thing. There's a lot of people that are involved of all different levels of government. So the first thing to do is call the police or the fire department. We want you to download this app and make a report there. It's really easy. The app is really cool. It's called Smell My City. Also make a report on See Click Fix. That is a really good website or a really good app for contacting the city government at the city level. And if you make a report about an odor, the fire department will probably be dispatched as well. But it's also good to call, and especially in the event that it's after hours, it's after 5 p.m. and no one's really monitoring the application, the app. Monitor or email Melissa. She is the director of water and sewer. She's very helpful in trying to document what's going on and to figure out what's going on. And also email these two people from the state level, and also make a complaint here to the EPA. And everything is very self-explanatory. You just go in and it's probably going to ask you something about where do you think it's coming from? What does it smell like? How strong do you think it is? Are you experiencing kind of physical symptoms? Down here, these
Hey, Carrie.
Yes.
Hey, it's Jennifer. I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So I think one of the recommendations that you just made was to call the local fire department. So how do we best manage that, right? I mean, I know, because quite honestly, I smell the odor from the PPG plant, even where I live. So how do we kind of control that so that we're not disrupting what I'm going to say, public safety and the responders for where they need to respond to handling odor?
That's a really good question. Right now, I think that it's good to make them aware about what's going on. And at the moment, they're not really aware of what's going on. And I think that the first step is to make sure that the right people are notified. And if that means that we're calling every night, multiple times a night, I think that it warrants them to come out and to investigate what's going on. Because, particularly when odors are really strong, it could indicate that we would need to be evacuated. We don't know. That's not for us to decide as citizens. That's what our government is there to protect us for. So that's why we really do need to call in and make sure that our environment is safe around us.
So could I ask a favor, maybe for the next update that we do, could we maybe have somebody from the fire department attend the session so that maybe we can get better advisement from them as far as when we should call if we experience a strong sensation of odor?
We can. I have personally have spoken to a fire, the guy that came to us when I made a report, he seemed to be open to that. He's there to figure things out. And I mean, if you would like, we could invite the fire department to our next JPNA meeting, but right now, our group has already kind of gone through figuring out how to make a report and who to notify.
And I just want to kind of echo Carrie and say too that it's not really, even if we call them 5 times to tell them that there's a bad smell, we're not the ones that decide whether they decide to come out for that, right? They get to decide based on what's going on. If there's an emergency situation and they're dealing with a fire, they're gonna figure out how to prioritize your phone call. So I think that letting them know that there's a problem, even if they don't immediately address it, that's on them. That's not on you. And I think for us as citizens, I think it's helpful to kind of keep them in the loop. So that would be just kind of what I would want to say.
Yeah, and for me, I feel like that if we need support, the only way we're going to get that support is if we call it out that says, hey, we need fire department to be here. And if there's not enough firemen or firewomen, fire people to come out, then the city needs to solve that. That is not our job to solve. That is the city's job to solve. And right now we really need to hold our city not liable, but responsible for protecting us. Our group has worked, I've been with this group for 2 years, and we have worked very hard in making sure that we're contacting the right people and that we're not contacting people that shouldn't be contacted. And I know, I'm going to give a shout out to Julie Ehring. She's amazing. She has been working on this for many years. So there has been a lot of thought been put into this. So this document goes into the other resources that our group has, mainly Julie, has put together for other things. So like the things about environment is that there's all different places to find things. So we have put together this document down here. And there's all different kinds of links you can click through, and you can educate yourself on what's going on around us. I'm not going to go through all of them. What I think is the most interesting one is this particular link right here. It's echo.epa.gov. When you go here, you can type in East Point, Georgia. You go to search, and this goes into all the different facilities that are around us. Actually all over, because it's the EPA. Let's see here, this is Atlanta Medical South. We need to go north a little bit. So here's PPG, and it says, so this is the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, RCRA. I'm not sure what that is, but you can click here and you can see their facility report, and it goes into even the fines that they've been fined by the EPA. It goes into the monitoring history, everything, a lot about their history with compliance. So this is just something that's really interesting that you can look at on your own time. And these documents are going to be posted on our website. It's epec-georgia or ga.org. And it's going to be posted here for everybody to look at. The manufacturing plant that they are proposing to put in close to our neighborhood. So it's going to be in this parcel right here. And if you zoom out, our neighborhood is right here. And it's a proposed polystyrene plant. And as you can see here, this parcel is right up against some residential houses right here. And so if you have any kind of concerns about this going in near our neighborhood, you can contact our city council members and go and speak your opinion at planning and zoning and our city council.
Thank you, Carrie. And do you mind if people reach out to you personally too, since I know you're kind of the expert on this as far as I'm concerned, I would always want to talk to you first.
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach out to me, and I can help you navigate the different rules and how to sign up for public comment, because it's not all that easy to do. So yeah, absolutely reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, particularly if you're not, my friend on Facebook or whatever. That's a great place to reach out to me.
All right. Well,
want to
thank
post
you
your email address in the chat so that people can get a hold of you?
Oh, sure. I can do that too. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Carrie. That was really helpful and a really good explanation.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that very much. And so we do have Thomas Callaway, Councilmember Callaway is here. So in respect of his time, I will go ahead and turn it over to him for a report out from East Point. Welcome.
Sorry, bear with me, just getting things going. Hope everyone is doing well. I caught the tail end of the last presentation. I did post the non-emergency number. So if you guys are detecting a strong odor, certainly call the non-emergency number, especially use that C-Click Fix app because it will timestamp. And that has been very helpful. We had some issues recently with SA Recycling, formerly known as Newell, where they were seeing a high occurrence of basically explosions is what they are, where they're either shredding compressed gases or flammable gases accidentally in their, or unintentionally, I should say, in their shredder. And because we were able to go back and those were documented, we gave them a warning and then we cited them probably about a week ago. We've since have had a meeting with them, reaffirming that the frequency of explosions is unacceptable, and since then they have implemented some protocols to reduce those. So when we look at these industrial sites, and unfortunately, because of our history in the city as a rail hub, there's a lot of industrial that has been or currently is in close proximity to residential. And it's folks speaking out that will help make that change. Also documenting the instances. EPD, EPA, they do find, they do come out, they do inspect, but the reality is oversight is not as stringent as we would like to see from the state and federal level that regulates a lot of these sites and these types of chemicals. The manufacturing site, it will have to go through a special use permitting process. Currently, I'm learning more about it, but I'm concerned about the close proximity, adding additional manufacturing in our city when we're trying to reduce manufacturing. And then it also is up for a vote. I believe it's the first Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. There's a BITA board meeting. You can check the city's website for that. But the city's actually looking at doing a tax abatement inducement to bring that manufacturing here. I put it on the work session the other day. It does seem to have council support, but I voiced my concerns and displeasure. So that's certainly something we're looking at. Also, we're looking at rezoning a lot of decommissioned former industrial sites, hoping to turn those over to more compatible uses such as commercial or mixed use, which would be a mix of commercial and residential. We have received an Epa Brownfield Grant. It's an assessment grant, which once we complete our assessments, then we will be applying for some EPA cleanup grants. It's unfortunate that we do have some of these industrial sites, Owens Corning being one of them, where we're having to go in and catch some of the water off of that and remediate. So we've had these bad actors who've chose to externalize some of their cost of manufacturing onto the city, and us as taxpayers are, not only do we suffer the environmental consequences, but we are suffering some of the economic consequences and having to foot the bill. So needless to say, as we move our city forward, not having large scale heavy manufacturing in close proximity to residential, or for that matter, really in most places within our city, is really the vision that I have for our city, and I think a lot of people have expressed. So constituent engagement is going to be key and critical in shaping hearts and minds, if you will, on my colleagues on council, and ensuring that as we move forward that we can fix some of these legacy issues that we've inherited. So that being said, I did supply the non-emergency number, and again, the other app, but especially the C-Click Fix, because it will date and time stamp those issues. And then as a city, we can go back and look, and when we have meetings with these companies, say, well, look, here's the 20 or 30 or 10 or 5, how many ever it is, instances on where you guys have had a negative impact on the quality of life of the people who live here. So thank you guys for that. Food distribution has started back up again. After the November election, suspiciously, the USDA decided to no longer distribute food to the Metro Atlanta area, and I believe other parts of Georgia as well. And then come January 22nd, it miraculously started back up again. Not sure what happened between November 3rd and January 20th, but whatever it was, the USDA decided not to give us any food. But they are back up and running. To date, we've distributed approximately 3.5 million pounds of food and assistance. We have done about $500,000 in utility assistance that was part of federal government dollars that came through the county as part of COVID relief. We are expecting to see an additional round of funding to come to cities and to states, but especially cities and counties to help out. Yesterday, up until yesterday, there was not a COVID vaccination site south of I-20 in Fulton County. We fought, well, I shouldn't say fought, we advocated very vociferously. Mayor was leading that along with many of the other cities in Fulton County to ensure that there's an equitable distribution of the vaccine and vaccination process. I believe it was yesterday they started up a new location at the GICC in College Park and moved it from Charlie Brown Airport out on Fulton Industrial. Or out on Fulton, I believe Fulton, anyway, by Six Flags. But they have now opened up a location at the GICC, and they also, because they're targeting seniors in this round, they are looking to do a phone call-in because many seniors do not have access or may not be familiar with the internet, computers, et cetera. So there will be a call-in number. So if you do know a senior that is in that classification, there are new sites. In addition to that, if you have if they go to the Grady Health Clinic for their primary care physician, they can schedule a vaccine through the Grady Clinic here in the city of East Point. That is, and of course, we are looking for an increase in supply and potentially looking to do some actual mobile units. And then in addition to that, having Fulton County come out to some of our senior high rises to vaccinate all the seniors living within the high rise, because that's basically a high risk group that is living in a semi-congregate atmosphere. So we are pushing hard on that. So that's the COVID vaccine update. Obviously, COVID is still out there. There's new variants. Please wear a mask, please wash your hands, socially distance, all the stuff I know everyone has become second nature, but keep it up a little while longer, and we are looking for the increase in vaccinations. So that's the update on that. I shared Ms. Neville, I don't know if you distributed it, but I did share the engineering plans for the traffic calming along Jefferson Avenue. So we'll be looking to add those dollars in the upcoming budget so that we can actually get some of those shovels in the ground, if you will. All told, I think it's 5 or 6 speed humps, and the total cost on those is going to range, I think it's going to be about $135,000 to get those put in. So it's, some folks think, oh, you just go out there and throw a little bit of asphalt on the ground, but because we're a city, you have to have a licensed engineer go out, look at everything, make plans, et cetera, et cetera. It's got to be done the proper way, because if it's not, then there could be potential liability issues for the city, not to mention the public safety concern of, improperly installed traffic calming devices could potentially be hazardous to people's health. So that's a brief update on that. What else is going on? Does anyone have any questions, concerns? I mean, there's so much going on. My brain's a little scattered, but any topics that you guys would like to talk about, address?
I think you covered everything that I know I was hoping that you would cover, and I do appreciate the traffic calming update. I did share that via our email blast, and I think everybody was very pleased to hear that there is some forward movement, and we appreciate your support in that. We're looking forward to it. I think the only thing I would add is that there is knowledge that once we put traffic calming on Jefferson, that it will
force traffic to Winburn,
address the Winburn and the other streets in the future. So
yeah, you're correct. Like when I originally saw the documents and there, I guess for whatever reason, when the request went through, they looked at Jefferson because it was a more heavily traveled street. And immediately as soon as they said that, I said, okay, well, when are we doing engineering on Winburn? Because as soon as we put traffic calming on Jefferson, because it's a more heavily traveled street. Guess what? Winburn is going to be is going to be the more heavily traveled street. And part of that is the entrance and exit to the school. So we are looking. One thing I do want to update y'all on. I think Randy Beavers may have come at one point and talked to y'all about the new development going in at the Buggy Works, Wagon Works. So they have released some more plans on that. And as part of that development, they're looking to connect the East Point path that runs along Norman Berry, potentially to connect that up and through the new development. So there'll be a nice path going there. And then going into the footbridge. Also, we're looking at potentially doing some uplighting, art type lighting on that footbridge to make it A, more visually appealing, and B, safer, and to get that bridge more usable. Right now it's infrequently used, and therefore we have installed some CCT on it to make it safer, but because of its infrequent use, it has been known to not necessarily be as safe as it could be. So we are looking to do that. And also they're looking at doing 120 condos, if you will, in that development, and that will be part of phase 1. And those will be going in near the corner of Norman Berry and trying to think of the name of the cross street. I think it's Martin, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that. And they will be releasing more plans as they continue to do site design and site development. They've also met with the folks from Market 166, and part of that development is going to be a focus on health and wellness, and so they're looking to potentially incorporate I won't call it a grocery store necessarily, but a food co-op, I think, is probably a better way of saying that. I think is a more accurate descriptor. So they're looking at making that part of that plan as well. I saw. Do you mind if I answer some of these questions in chat that I see here?
Absolutely. If you can keep up with them.
Okay. Update on the commons development right now. There's not a whole lot of movement on that project. Obviously with COVID, it sort of took a backseat, and I've been focused in on the development of what's going to be known as the East Point Exchange. And of course, our hope is once we start seeing development on that side, that will spur some investment and development on the other side. Even though we own the property, it still has to go, a developer still has to find investors, do the plans, put the buildings in. So, they do have to raise a certain amount of capital. I think somewhere in the upwards of $80 million that has to be raised to be able to get that done. Expanding sidewalk access on Jefferson eastbound beyond the church. At this time, I don't know that we're going to be building a whole lot of interior sidewalks. Right now, we're trying to get more sidewalks on our major thoroughfares, and then increase the East Point Path project. So we're looking at streets, especially like Ben Hill, Washington Road, which have a lot of car traffic, which have zero and commercial, as well as residential. There's a lot of apartments that are near there, and then folks go up to the stores, and as they walk up and down Ben Hill, there's no sidewalks there in Washington. So that there will be a lot of sidewalk dollars put there before they will necessarily be put inside of neighborhoods, because those heavily trafficked areas between high-speed cars and people on foot can lead to a negative vehicle pedestrian interaction. Basically, people getting run over, which obviously is never a good thing. There's oftentimes people with kids who are going back and forth and utilizing those areas. And in addition to that, we're looking at the area along Sylvan by Walmart. That's another area where there's high pedestrian traffic, no sidewalk, and people going back and forth to a highly trafficked commercial place with a cut through that goes from 166 to 85. So as you can imagine, it's a high traffic area. So that's where a majority of our sidewalk dollars will be going. Oh, and on that point, we are looking at doing a new T-SPLOST referendum that will be on the November ballot. We're putting those projects together now. As you may know, for the last 5 years, there's been 4 years, there's been 3/4 of a penny sales tax in Fulton County that is then dispersed based upon population that are used specifically for streets, sidewalks, bike paths. And that's what is basically, without those dollars, we would not have really been able to repave a street or put in a single sidewalk. So obviously I'm advocating for that 3/4 of a penny sales tax to continue for an additional 5 years if we want to continue to get things like sidewalks, road paving, and bike paths. So on that note, where will the path be extended? So the next area that we have been looking at that would have impact Jefferson Park would be an extension from the footbridge up to Norman Berry, and then up Norman Berry up to where the school is, and then potentially connecting back into Main Street up by Millage. So what that would allow to do is it would allow the young adults really that are going to Tri-Cities to get to the downtown area or get to a MARTA station without, because currently what they're doing is crossing the train tracks and then walking down Main Street, sometimes on the side without a sidewalk. A bunch of things wrong with that. One, train tracks, very dangerous. Two, the walk down Main Street is just not that great. So hoping that if we can get the T-Spots for a portion of it, and then safe path to school, so that there would be some grant options by tying it into the school. So that is one area that we are looking at and focused in on that would have a direct impact on on the folks in JP. Are environmental measures requirements considered as part of the plans for new and revitalization building projects? I'm not sure what that question is. Are you maybe you're talking about like LEED certification, or are the buildings that are being built, are they built to a certain efficiency standard? I don't know if that's what the question is. Maybe you can follow up in the chat here and go into and let me know if that is what you were asking there, and I'll come back to it. And thank you, Gabrielle. Yes, sidewalks are desperately needed on Sylvan. I think that the only one was that environmental question. I don't know if somebody could maybe.
Can we unmute her maybe?
I think it's Opal Baker.
Yes, here I am.
Hi, Ms.
Am
Baker.
I unmuted?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yes, so you mentioned just a few minutes ago that there was going to be some condos being built, unless I misunderstood that. And so that just makes me wonder about whether or not, as new development comes into East Point, what kinds of considerations are being given to environmental justice issues. So what's the materials being used? How are they? How the buildings are being powered? Those kinds of things. I don't know what plans or if there is even a plan that East Point has for development, building development. So I'm asking the question. I mean,
Sure, absolutely. So two parts to that. One is we do use the standard ICC building code standards. So we do not have any additional environmental requirements. And to your point, I do understand, having more efficient structures for the people who are in them reduces their operating cost and has a net impact on their overall cost of living. So I do understand the question you're asking. And to that point, we have contracted PSC partnership or PSE Partnership for Southern Equity, and they will be releasing their equity recommendations and an equity plan for the city of East Point. It's part of a 2-year process, and there will be some there will be some recommendations that are geared towards environmental justice. But one of the issues that we have, as we talk to developers, they say, well, yes, we can build. Of course, they have to build the code, but if we continue to go above and beyond code, then what ends up happening is, the cost of electricity and utilities goes down, but unfortunately, the cost of construction goes up. And it's been a real balancing act. I don't know if anyone is in the construction field, but COVID hit, and I guess construction slowed down, but then it picked back up. But materials, for whatever reason, the price of materials has skyrocketed. If you are in the building trades, anyone who is in the building trades can attest to that I just, due to scarcity, I'm assuming, and supply chain issues, the cost of construction has increased dramatically. So we are working as diligently as we can on those new condos to get to a price point that is going to be affordable for our median household income. And they're looking at I'm sorry, I saw something in the chat. They're looking at some studios, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, but even the 2 bedrooms at around a 1,200 square foot footprint will be, because of cost of construction, even though the land is, they were able to acquire the land fairly cheaply over the years, the cost of construction is so high that they'll be running at around $1,600 for a 1,200 square foot condo. So to your point, in the long haul, when we look at building construction, especially if you're building like a single family home, then people can recoup those costs over the long haul. But in a rental market, what tends to happen is the developer, if they spend more on the construction, then yes, it reduces the folks' utility costs, but it increases the cost of rental, often by a similar amount, and then it makes those units more difficult to attain. But we will have some more coming out, and have contracted with Partnership for Southern Equity around some of these equity issues. But we are pushing. Oh, and to that point as well, we just had 120 senior units that were built through the East Point Housing Authority. So those will be at a reduced below market rate. So we are working to get additional housing mix in and when we are looking at new housing. Oh, and in addition to that, an update, the Nelms House for long-term residents who have been here. That's that building on Conley that's like 8 stories tall. It's the tallest building in East Point and has been boarded up, fallen down, looking forever, as far as I can remember. But they will be doing a complete gut remodel and making some of the units bigger. And again, they will be looking at doing below market rate housing there through the East Point Housing Authority. So, and then when we do the commons development, of course, we will be looking at doing a housing mix. And then these 120 condos that are going in that site will be market rate, but they're following up with a phase 2, which will have, we're looking at about 30%, I think, mix of affordable or workforce housing, if you will. So in the second phase of that project. Did that answer your question, Ms. Baker?
Looks like it did. All right.
And I don't want to take up everyone's time, but I will try to, if Ms. Neville, if we have time, I know we're getting late. There's a couple. Nelms House, do you know what type of housing? It'll be senior housing. It'll be senior housing with subsidized senior housing through HUD and a private developer. So there will be subsidies attached to that. So folks who are at or below a certain income level and are also seniors will be able to apply to get into those units on the Nelms House. And then to Ms. Baker, or anyone else for that matter, if we would like to talk more offline, you can reach me at 470, and I'll put it in the chat, but 470-755-1957. I infrequently check Facebook, so the best way to get me, just because right now we just have so much going on, I just don't have the time. I try to check it, but it's just not a good way to contact me. But certainly my phone, and I check my email several times a day, which is T as in Thomas Calloway, CALLOWAY at East Point, EASTPOINT City, CITY and I will put both of those in the chat window. And you can also go to eastpointcity.org and find our contact information there as well.
Thank you. We always appreciate you coming to our meetings, supporting us, advocating for us, and being willing to give us all the information that we miss through all the East Point City Council meetings that I try to attend some, but it's nice to get a good little wrap up from you.
And absolutely, our meetings are via Zoom, and we also live stream them on Facebook. So they sometimes tend to go late into the night. So if you have trouble sleeping, flip it on the first and third Monday. It will certainly put you to sleep. So thank you all for having me. And again, I will put my contact information in here. Any other issues, feel free to reach out to me. And I do my very, very best to get back to people within 24 hours. Thank you all so much for having me.
Good. Thank you, Councilmember. We appreciate you once again.
Have a good night.
Okay, and I think our last speaker is Mr. Robbie Jackson. I see you're online, so I'll turn it over to you.
Robbie, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Okay, here we go. Man, it's good to see everybody, even if it's just virtually. I can't say we love to host these meetings because you're not meeting at Jefferson Avenue Baptist Church for the time being. We are meeting in person. We have social distance and everybody's wearing masks, and it's a pretty good thing. The only thing I know for sure we've got coming up is Easter services. We'll have sunrise service at 7 a.m. on the front steps of the church, and then our 10:30 morning worship. We will be inviting the community to bring flowers or blooms or vegetation of color from your yard. Don't go pick off somebody else's yard. And we put up a community cross, and that'll be Saturday, April the 3rd at noon. And we will have to wait, kind of play it by ear for our Easter egg hunt for the kids. We're just not sure how that's going to work. I mean, it will be outside, which would be an okay thing. But we'll just have to, we haven't really made a decision on that yet. And that's really all I've got, because we're not going to meet again before Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. But we're doing what we hope to crank back up our church's food pantry shortly. That way we can be helping some of the less fortunate in the community. We don't have a big food pantry. We don't give a ton of food. I see some of the things that are given away at Impact Church, some big boxes of stuff, and we don't have those resources. But we do have some, and we'll be cranking that back up soon, I believe. And I think that's it. Everybody have a great day, great evening.
Thank you, Robbie. And we appreciate your support, and we do miss you at the church, our face-to-face meetings. And if you would just shoot me an email of the details about the flowers and April 3rd, and I'll make sure I get that out to the neighborhood in the email newsletter. All right, thank you. All right, well, that wraps up our agenda. The only final thing that I have to let everybody know is that the board and myself are looking at the bylaws, our JPNA bylaws, and we're probably going to make some updates. Obviously, in our bylaws, it didn't say that we could host quarterly meetings via Zoom. So we want to go ahead and update those bylaws to reflect the way that things are being done. And we'll, of course, send those out to the neighborhood. We'll do that via the email blast and, of course, through social media. So again, my email address is jpnapresident@gmail.com if you're interested in being part of the email blast, or if you have any questions or concerns. I plan on sending out the bylaws with the changes, and then of course we'll get neighborhood comment on those. We're not just going to change them without your input. So look forward to that. And then our next meeting is scheduled for May 18th. So I hope everybody has a wonderful evening and look forward to our mixers that are coming up and our yard sale event in April. And if anybody else doesn't have anything, I call for a motion to dismiss or to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
Thank you, everyone. Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Everybody. Good night, everyone.